Welcome to the Miles Financial Show with Billie Miles. Billie is a co-founder of Miles Financial Group, and for over 20 years, Billie's consistently been a leader in his field as a producer, mentor, and trainer to thousands of advisors nationwide. He's a member of the National Ethics Association, and he is an expert in no-market risk strategic planning. The Miles Financial Group specializes in working with people who are in or near retirement with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies. And now, here to talk with you about tax-free income and retirement, your host, Billie Miles.
Welcome to the Miles Financial Show. I'm Billie Miles, partner and co-founder of the Miles Financial Group, an asset retirement protection company right here in the Inland Empire.
Have you ever heard the term black swan event? That term was coined by Dr. Nassim Taleb and refers to events that are rare and unpredictable. The term refers to a 17th century idea because until the 1600s, it was an accepted truth that all swans are white. In fact, all swans are white had been used for a long time as the standard example of a scientific truth. The equivalent today might be that the Earth rotates around the sun. So, today we would call that an undisputable scientific truth, right? So what were the odds of seeing a black swan back in the 1600s? Well, it's impossible to calculate, but considered impossible only until 1697, when explorers found black swans in Australia. Think about that. They had a black swan event. They actually found black swans in Australia when at that time it was considered impossible. In today's times, 9/11 was an example of a big black swan event in 2001. The events leading up to the Great Recession was another major black swan event. And most recently, the coronavirus pandemic, which caused one of the fastest slides into a bear market in the history of our country in March of 2020, is another example of a black swan event, a rare event, totally unpredictable, but it caused a major impact on the markets worldwide. So the chances of black swan events today, we see that they're happening at a much higher clip than just a decade or two ago. And yet many people continue to invest as though the stock market will continue to rise forever, with no significant black swan events along the way, with nothing to worry about, still holding on to what their broker told them to just ride it out. Doesn't that seem a bit odd? Doesn't it seem like in today's times that we need to have more of a defensive focus as it relates to your investments, especially if you're in or nearing retirement? Because when you were younger, you're probably still contributing to your retirement accounts. Time was on your side. You could afford to ride out ups and downs in the market. And having time in the market was the right strategy versus trying to time the market. But as you get closer to retirement, time is no longer on your side. You cannot afford to go backwards. What you want to do is have a mentality of preservation of principle, protecting what you've worked so hard to acquire over your lifetime, and making sure that it lasts for the rest of your life. So let me ask you a question. How would you like a guaranteed bonus of up to 10% on your investments and 9% increases on your deposit every year towards a lifetime income account with a 100% guarantee of safety from market risk? Oh, and by the way, since your money is always safe, it can never go down due to market volatility, due to the next black swan event. It can only increase and go up in times when the markets are doing well. But you also have guarantees of growth each year, regardless of what happens in the market. And no more market losses during black swan events. That's the key, is to protect your assets from ever going backwards and from ever having to give back the assets that you've worked so hard to accumulate. So if you've saved at least $100,000 towards retirement, give us a call right now and be sure to ask for a complimentary copy of our 115-page conservative investor book. It's an insider's guide to no market risk, retirement and income strategies that will show you how to protect your money from fees and market downturns. If you're one of the first 10 callers, you'll also be eligible to receive, at no cost and no obligation, a complimentary retirement analysis of your current portfolio. We'll go through your existing positions and take a look at your current risk exposure. We'll take a look at the current fees that you may be paying, both direct and indirect fees. We'll do a full-blown tax analysis to help you determine the tax efficiencies or inefficiencies that may exist in your current portfolio. We'll also do a Social Security optimization report. So if you're wondering about when should I take Social Security, how do I take Social Security, or if you're just confused about the over 500 different ways to claim your Social Security benefits, we'll show you exactly what you should do as it relates to your overall portfolio. All of this at no cost and no obligation. And all you have to do is give me a call right now to 909-321-9737. That's 909-321-9737. Or simply text the word income to the same number. And we'll send you immediately a copy of our Income Bridge report that will show you the 5 things you need to know to protect yourself, to make sure that your income in retirement is the best outcome that you can hope for. That number again is 909-321-9737. That's 909-321-9737.
Well, I have to take a short break. This is Billy Miles, and you're listening to the Miles Financial Show. So let's pause for some exciting announcements.
The most successful teams have a plan, and they stick to it. Before the game even starts, they know what they want to do and how they're going to do it. The same is true in retirement. Do you have a game plan, or are you just going to wing it when the day comes? Billie Miles and the team at Miles Financial Group strictly focus on retirement income planning. They can help put the pieces together to build a retirement income strategy that you can feel confident in. Give them a call now to start building your strategy. 909-321-9737. That's 909-321-9737. Don't be unprepared. Create an income strategy designed to get you to and through retirement successfully. 909-321-9737. Billie Miles at Miles Financial Group. 909-321-9737.
AM 590. The Answer.
Thank you for tuning in to the Miles Financial Show. I'm Billy Miles, a no-market risk retirement and asset protection specialist.
Let me ask you a question. Where is your money invested today? And the reason I'm asking that question is because when your money is in stocks, mutual funds, or bonds, losing or gaining is a matter of timing. You see, once you get closer to retirement, you simply cannot afford to risk the randomness of timing because you have no control over what the market is going to do next. And see, I specialize in working with no market risk money. That's money that you cannot afford to lose. It's also money that you cannot afford to risk to the randomness of market timing because you need to be able to count on that money lasting you for the rest of your life throughout retirement. But what if you could take advantage of market gains and never participate in market losses? Let me say that again. What if you could take advantage of market gains but never participate in a loss when the market crashes? What if you could be guaranteed a first-year return of up to 10% or more and lock in gains from the market and never have your account value drop? Ever. Think about that for a second. Go back over the last 20 years and you look at the major downturns that we've experienced from 2000 to 2002, where the market lost about 50%. And then we had another major drop from 2007 to 2009, where the market dropped another 50%. And just recently, in March of 2020, in that 1 month, actually less than 30 days, the market slipped into the fastest bear market in the history of our country, where it dropped nearly 34%. Imagine being able to take advantage of the years, all of the years in between, when the market was positive, the longest bull run in American history over the last decade, and be able to completely eliminate the bad years. So in other words, it's a picture that looks like this: being in the market at the exact right time and being out of the market at the exact right time. That's the type of financial retirement planning that I specialize in. And over the last couple of years, I've helped clients move millions of dollars into these no market risk strategies. See, I specialize in working with those who are approaching or already in retirement, and specifically working with 401k rollovers, IRAs, and other accounts that need to be protected from the risk of market downturn or taxation. The question I have for you is, do you need my help? Can I help protect your money? And there's only one way for you to find out, and that's for you to give me a call and find out how you can participate in these types of strategies without it costing you anything out of pocket. There simply is no risk and no obligation whatsoever. All you have to do is give me a call at 909-321-9737. That's 909-321-9737. And our team is ready and able to schedule a virtual consultation that you can take advantage of right from the comfort of your own home. You see, by doing so, you'll also receive a courtesy copy of our 115-page conservative investor book. It's a guide that will give you all of the information that you've always wanted to ask your broker, but could never get straight answers. You see, when you call, make sure you let us know if you're interested in how you can lock in up to a 10% bonus on your initial deposit and up to 9% every year towards a lifetime income account to provide you with the guaranteed income that you can never outlive. We like to call that a private pension, an income account that's guaranteed to provide income for you and your spouse year after year after year for the rest of your life, whether you live to be 85 years old or 105 years old. And if you both pass away, your children or your beneficiaries, they get the difference. Isn't that fantastic? You see, when we talk about no market risk strategies, they're so important because at this stage of your life, when you're in that critical phase of retirement, the 5 years before or after retiring, or even if you're already retired, you simply cannot afford to go backwards. And what you don't want to do is continue to expose your retirement to the risk of the market. And I'm talking specifically about the money that you need to count on. Once you have a foundation in place, a foundation of income, because remember, you've heard me say this before, the most important outcome in retirement is income. The most important outcome is income when it comes to your retirement. And so that's why you cannot afford to go backwards. You know, have living here in California for my entire life, and my kids now the same. We spent many days in the winter going up to the mountains and taking our kids sledding. And, you know, one of those snowy days, I was watching my kids fly down a hill with no apparent concern for any type of bodily harm. And as I watched them, it dawned on me how risking our money in our youth is so similar to risking our bodily health. You know, for example, when we were young, we had no problem going sledding down a hill and launching off the top of it with little to no thought of the consequences. And once we have kids, we may still go to the top of the hill, but we'll probably sled down with a bit more caution. At least I know that I do. And, you know, later on in life, most of us may not even go up the hill at all. And the reason for this is simple. As we get older, the ability of our bodies to absorb physical punishment is decreased greatly, and the time that it takes to recover is increased. The same thing is true for your money. When you're young, you can absorb huge losses in your retirement accounts because the time period available for you to recover is so long. However, as we get close to retirement, there's little to no time to recover from losses whatsoever. And that's why the no market risk strategies that I work with will allow you to sled down the hill in a crash-proof sled. It's guaranteed that you cannot lose any money if the market collapses, that your money will always be safe. So if you want to take advantage of that concept, then give me a call right now at 909-321-9737. That's 909-321-9737.
This is Billie Miles, your host of the Miles Financial Show. I'll be right back after this informative message.
What if you didn't have to wait any longer to retire? Fed up with the 9-to-5 rat race?